We're joined by British Speedway Chairman Rob Godfrey. Rob, thanks for joining us. We've all seen the decision that was made, ultimately a decision that was out of our hands. Give us your thoughts and reaction to the news.
Yeah, obviously disappointing that we had to make the announcement, but it was inevitable after the last government announcement. You know, to mention stadia in October and to give local authorities powers to shut stadiums down if a COVID outbreak was in that area, it was just out of our hands. The decision, was taken out of our hands. Put a lot of effort in. The directors, the promoters, everybody was keen for some kind of league campaign in both leagues, 3 leagues, to happen this year. But ultimately, as I just said before, it's totally out of our hands.
Yeah, exactly. As you say, in the statement that was released on Tuesday, they said there was mention of a possibility of individual events taking place in October potentially. Can you provide supporters with the latest on the chance of seeing some form of racing this year?
Yeah, absolutely. We believe that that in October there is a chance for, and we'll call them elite professionals, because that's what they are. Professional speedway riders are classed by the government as elite. We believe that come October, or it may be sooner than that, when them guidelines are relaxed, then stadiums can put good individual meetings on with them kind of riders. At the meantime, we're left with what we've got, which we do believe is National League development type speedway, which we believe is under the guidelines, and as long as you have a local authority approval, you can put them kind of meetings on. So that's where we'll be focusing our attention in the next few days. What I can say is that I put the wheels in motion with the coordinator Jason Pipe today to ask, and the officer sent out a memo to ask what clubs would be interested. We need to formulate who's interested, and then what we could potentially do to maybe regionalise it and to make it viable and also make it creditable. So we've got a little bit of work to do. It is work in progress. It is something that I do believe we can do, and I am so keen to do it that I put my name top of the ring. So I'll be one of the clubs that will be in it.
Yeah, and it's obviously extremely testing times for the vast majority of businesses across the country, not just for Speedway. As a board of directors, are you confident all clubs will survive to track a team in 2021?
Well, that is ultimately our game. Our hope. Sorry, we do believe that although a lot of clubs have endured a lot of costs at the beginning of this season, that they can survive. We'll do everything we possibly can to support them. We have things in place that we will be doing to make that happen. All we can say is that, it's been torrid, like you just said, for everyone, for people losing people that they love and everything else. We seem to have got a grip on it now. We all want some normality back in our lives, and we want Speedway back. And we genuinely believe that. I believe that all clubs will come back next year, but there is no guarantee. There is no guarantee in stone.
Yeah. Just moving on to a personal point of view. A new board of directors, your first year in the job. How difficult has it been as your first year leading the sport?
Let me just have a quick laugh. Well, you couldn't make it up, could you? I mean, things were so positive. From November, December, January and February, so positive. All the big names coming back to the sport, the great Eurosport deal, everything was in place to have an absolutely fantastic year, and then it just went down the pan as such. For me personally, and the board of directors have been fantastic, and a lot of other promoters that have been supporting us and chucking ideas together. It has been one of the worst times of my life. It has been so stressful. I'll tell you, a couple of weeks ago when Alistair Downing, I think his name, came on, and he said some words that we need to get sport back to normal, and I thought that was it, and I cried because I thought that, the relief, but it didn't happen. It was a bit like Boris saying you can go to work but you can't go to work. It was one of them. So I was ecstatic, and then I was deflated. It's been I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I feel like I've had the world on my shoulders. I'm not by myself, I do agree, but I feel today that with the conversation with Eurosport that we've had and putting it to bed is absolutely the right thing to do at this time. For everyone to move on. We, as I said before, we're taking it as far as we possibly could. Credibility would have been in question after that. So I'm relieved today. Yeah, as I say, just touching on the conversation that we with Eurosport, it was yesterday, I do believe. They, we was fearful that things might not go as we planned, but they actually went a lot better than we planned. There's news to that to come in the future, but needless to say that Eurosport want to get more involved with the sport, which is a fantastic thing to hear. One of the best things I've heard for a long time. It is so encouraging for the supporters. I appreciate you waiting. It has been a frustrating time for all of us. Hopefully, there will be some speedway. It won't be probably your team riding, but we've all got individual riders that we follow and we like and we love. If they're in an individual, come and support them at the club where they will be riding. And then hopefully the National League, some kind of National League competition, whether it be challenges or it will be a proper league structure, will be happening. And once again, come along. I do believe all them will have to follow the government guidelines. There'll be ticketing, but a different way of operating. There'll be a different way of operating, but it will be the same old sports speedway. That's the speedway that we love. So.
Yeah, and just finally, touching on the Great Britain lads, looking at Robert Lambert out in Poland, he's had an excellent start to the season. You've got all the younger lads like Leon Flint, Carl Bickley, and Israel. They're getting out for practice quite a lot, and some of these boys and Tom Brennan have received call-ups for the under-21 qualifiers and under-19 qualifiers. How great is it that they will get some form of speedway this year to help their development?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as said earlier today, that if we can get the National League up and running, at least we've got the momentum with the youth. Every time I go to my track as a private eye, Drew Kemp's there. It's, I know the lad, but I don't know the lad, if you know what I mean. It's great to see it now at every opportunity. We've still got some fantastic riders coming through. If nothing else, we have to put something for them. It's a shame we can't put it on for everybody. But we have to keep that momentum going. It's a momentum that started quite a while ago, and we have to follow it through. And every opportunity will be given to run maybe the under-21 still, and the under-19s, etc. So, and you never know, we might get that British final on at the end of the year. If the restrictions are lifted, it's a real possibility. It's not off the table yet.
Yeah, and just to summarise, to the supporters, stay safe, stay positive. Fingers crossed we'll get a British final, but if not, we'll be back with a bang in 2021.
Yeah, keep missing it, fans, because we need you back in 21. It's as simple as that. Every club will need your support in 21. We're not pretending it might be any easier in 21. Hopefully it will be, and there will be speedway, but it's still going to be a challenge. And also the loyal supporters and the riders that are stuck with us. I mean, I feel for the riders. It's the same with them. You can go to work, but you can't go to work. It's exactly the same. They've hung on and hung on and hung on till this day, and unfortunately, we have to say at this time still, you can't ride your bike, you can't earn a living, which is a great shame.